Hey guys, what is going on? This is Carnalbird5, and today I have another player review, and we're going to be talking about the Flashback 94 overall Ben Zobrist. In order to obtain this card, you have to conquer the Rays, as you can see I've done right here, and then next you'll have to command the Rays, rack up innings with Rays, and you'll get that Flashback Will Myers card. It's actually a pretty decent card. And finally, once you embody the Rays by feeding them to your Dynasty players, that's Rays players, of course, you will get that Flashback Ben Zobrist 94 overall from 2009. I was actually really stoked when I got this, and if you guys look on inventory, I was actually the first one to discover him as well. So I was really excited to use this card, and I still really like it. It doesn't always start for me in my lineup, but here's what I usually do with him. I usually start him versus lefties because my lineup's really stacked now, but I usually go with Daniel Murphy or Matt Carpenter at second. And Ben Zobrist I'll bring off the bench since he can play every position. But this is a look at his attributes. He can play second base, shortstop, left field, center field, right field, and I'm pretty sure he could play first and third. I just don't think they added it. And you also, let's look at his hot zones first. Top left corner there, or top right corner. You see against lefties, he pretty much has all hot zones. Against righties, he has some more cold zones. Looking at his contact and power versus righties, you'll probably think that it's not the greatest, but 1666 I think it's not remarkable, but I think it's in that threshold, right on that borderline of where you can hit for consistent power with a card, and I think he is right there. His contact versus righties is pretty low, and I think that hurts him more than the power versus righties. Like I would rather see his contact versus righties be a little bit higher. But I think the power versus righties is fine, 66. But we take a look at his attributes versus lefties. He absolutely kills lefties, 73 and 80. And you guys are probably thinking, well, absolutely kills. I mean, that's good, but that's not great. Well, compared to most second basemen, there's really no other better second baseman against lefties. I know there's like Dozier and a few others, but this card is way more consistent due to the fact he has good defense and he's a switch hitter. He also has good plate discipline. Vision's not the greatest either. But we take a look at his fielding, and we see he has 83 fielding, 77 arm strength, 76 reaction. And that's some of the best defensive attributes for a second baseman. I know Cano was one of the best, but I think Zobrist is actually the best after looking at this. I mean, you're really not going to get any better unless you put your created player at second defensively. Speed's at 68, stealing's at 72. So I know you guys are probably thinking, how's this a diamond or whatnot? I mean, I still think those are solid attributes. You have to take into account this is a second baseman, and the weights are a lot lower for second base, so compared to other second basemen, yeah, he is definitely one of the best. I'll show you guys my stats with him. I used him a lot early on, so I feel like I have a good feel, and I should have a pretty good sample size as well with him. But we look at Ben Zobrist, 172 ABs. I do have 16 home runs with him, so I have 16 home runs and 172 ABs. I don't know if that was a full season. That would be, over 40 home runs. We have 82 games played, but a lot of those games are him coming off the bench now. And he's had some big pinch hit home runs for me as well. He scored 42 runs, 39 RBIs. Not that those matter a lot. Strikeouts 15, walks 7. So, I mean, if that is one problem, it is the strikeouts. But 15 strikeouts and 172 ABs is not bad, though. Let's take a look at his average. I don't have any stolen bases. Something I really don't do. I'm hitting 320 with him. As you can see against righties, that is his one downside, and I'm actually surprised it is only at 252. But against lefties, which I mainly play him against now, he absolutely kills 443. Averages runners in scoring position. You guys can look at all this other stuff. Slugging 709. OPS overall his OPS is still over 1,000. If we want to compare him to other second basemen, if I have some, Dan Ugly, I didn't really use him against online, but you see Daniel Murphy, he's a little bit higher. And we'll probably have reviews on them. Same for Carpenter, and that's mainly just because they're better against righties. But I mean, you can't ignore the fact Zobrist is a well-balanced card. Hits lefties well. We'll get into some batting practice next, guys, so stay tuned for that, and I'll give you guys some tips and pointers as well. Alright guys, so we're going to do batting practice. I'm actually going to show you against righties and lefties because I think you need a significantly different approach against different sides of the plate. And I also just want to talk a little bit more about Ben Zobrist, his attributes. If you actually look at his 2009 season, it was amazing. It was by far his best season. I think he had like nearly a 9 WAR, which is like, you know, up there with Mike Trout and Bryce Harper. And he hit for a high average if you're looking at righties and lefties against both. I think he hit 287 against righties and like 320 or 313 against lefties. So it kind of, I know it can be kind of confusing why his attributes are a little bit lower. I'm talking more about his contact. His power ones are fine to me. But keep in mind, guys, when we do these flashback reviews, a lot of the times they base their flashback attributes, they base those on a 3-year average as well. It's, you know, the same for the current. So before those years, you know, that was kind of sandwiched between 2 mediocre years of Ben Zobrist in which he hit for a low average. So I'm somewhat disappointed, but I somewhat understand how they made this flashback. But I think they could have made it a little bit better, especially if you progress, you know, 3 to 4 years when Ben Zobrist was consistently hitting for a higher average, and even in real life, in his current card, he hits for a higher average. But nonetheless, let's start talking about Ben Zobrist facing right-handed pitching. I am using the offset, or the extended offset zoom. We are facing Ryan Zimmerman. So, if you guys watch my Jimmy Rollins review and tips video, this is a pretty similar card. As you can see, when I finally get something middle in, I can turn on it and hit it out pretty easily, and this is on All-Star. But this is the stance. It's nice, relaxed. He's a little bit taller than Jimmy Rollins too, so I feel like the ball doesn't get on top of you as much. But when you're facing righties, I think one of the big questions you have to ask yourself, should you power swing or not? I'm going to say no against righties for the simple fact his PCI is just going to be too small. It really depends on your skill, I think. If you think you can square up balls, and I'm saying this, playing competitively the last few years, I myself don't even think I can consistently square up balls with power swing with Ben Zobrist. So I like to use X. But if you feel like you get a 3-1 count, 2-1 count, 2-0 count, and you're looking middle in, go ahead and power swing. But I'm saying for the most part, you should swing with X with Ben Zobrist. A very similar card to the Jimmy Rollins. You're only going to really generate power on pitches middle in against righties. So again, I like to place my PCI about middle in right here, get a nice loose grip on it, and then that way I only have to move it slightly up or slightly down if they pitch inside. And if they pitch middle in, I don't have to move it at all. And if they pitch down the middle, I really don't have to move it at all, because if it goes down the middle, I'm still going to square it up. So I like to start middle in, and when I'm trying to hit for power, like right there, that was a little bit low and away. That's still gone though. That just tells you how much power this Zobrist card does have. So that 66 power, don't let that fool you. But again, similar to Jimmy Rollins, and even when like I did the Tony Gordon Ichiro videos, when you're going opposite field with Zobrist, turn him into more of a contact guy. Start your PCI about, I like to start it about right here, medium high, a little bit away, and then I like to just try to stay on top of the ball. If you get the ball a little bit too deep in on you, in the inside part of the strike zone, like that slider, and I just misread the pitch, you'll get a lot of weak flyouts. So, really get yourself to be disciplined and only swing at him middle away. And right now, I'm just popping up almost everything middle away. So, that's the one downfall of this card. You might want to just look strictly middle in. As you can see right there, I scored that pitch up perfectly, and it's still a weak flyout. So, you really have to tell yourself to get on top of it. For some reason, Ben Zobrist, especially as you see in this batting practice, is popping up a lot of stuff. So that's my main advice with Zobrist against righties. You're just gonna have to accept the fact his contact, is just not that high. So you're not gonna have that flexibility to power swing when you want. His PCI is really gonna be too small in my opinion, and you're not gonna be making a consistent enough contact. So yeah, we're gonna go to the left side next, guys. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, I know I said see from the left side, I meant that for pitchers. We're actually going to be batting with Zobrist from the right side here, and we are facing David Price. So anyways, batting from the right side of Zobrist when he faces lefties. As you know, his attributes are going to be significantly better. So there's a little bit different approach you'll have here, and there's a little bit more flexibility, especially talking about using that power swing a little bit more. Now he has 80 power. A player I'd like to compare him to, I think Yogi Berra is in that range against righties. He's got, I think, 73 contact versus righties, and Yogi has that 80 power. And Zobrist is the same thing, I think, against lefties. But keep in mind his play vision is still only at 66. So again, I think the question is, do you need a power swing with this card to hit home runs? Ultimately, I'm gonna say no, you don't need to. But if you want to hit for opposite field power, you probably do want to power swing a little bit, and it's definitely not a bad thing. But I still think this is a card from both sides of the plate. You don't need a power swing at all. You can just mainly focus on using that X swing. And for hitting home runs on the right side of Zobrist, you don't have to pull the pitches either. I mean, I recommend it, but you don't have to. So when I'm facing a lefty, what I like to do is I get really pull happy. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I like to keep my PCI more just starting in the middle, and then just react, because I feel like I can read the pitch. Look how quick I am on that. Because I feel like I can pick up the pitches a little bit easier and I have more time to react. So I feel like I don't have to start at middle in like that. That being said, with this card and batting from the right side, you can go more oppo compared to his other side. So if you want to go oppo, you know, something I like to do to force myself to try to stay on top of the ball, even when I go oppo, start it like high and away, and try to let the ball get deep into the zone and be laid on it. Your PCI will naturally drop, and I think you'll hit for a lot more power going opposite field with this card, more so than going up the middle. So I would either focus on either pulling the pitches with this Zobrist card or going opposite field when you're batting from the right side. So let's show you again. Start from about right here. Just laid on it, just under it. Let's see. I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's a necessity to power swing either. Right there, that's a good hit. Let's see, middle away. Here we go. Here's a good opportunity. There we go. So just stay on the pitch, let it get deep into the zone, and don't be afraid to let yourself hit on top of it, because you would rather see a ground ball than a deep fly ball. But yeah, Zobrist, if you do want to hit for opposite field power, I would recommend power swinging a little bit. Just keep in mind that small plate vision. It is going to make things tough. Overall, this is an awesome card. I'm going to do Daniel Murphy and Kinsler probably eventually and compare all three of them and tell you which one I like the best. I'll just say that this card is very balanced, and if you need something on your bench or a player on your bench, this is really one of the best cards to have on your bench, because you can play nearly every position. Doesn't have a weakness, can hit for power off the bench, hits lefties really well, and can play just about any position. So a really cool card, one of my favorite cards so far. And I think just the fact that I was the first one to discover him kind of gets me even more excited when I do use him and he does well. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Cardinal Bird 5 signing out.